What's going on, base family, YouTube? What we have here, that's a different story. What we have here is a battery. It's a Duralast H6. It is 615 cold cranking up, 765 cranking, and 95 reserve capacity. I thought maybe my North Star was bad, so I put this battery in just to play around. And when I tell you, this battery is good, but it does not hold voltage at all. Like the capacity is just not there for car audio. I mean, it's good for starting the car, running small accessories in your car, and that's it. We're not even running the accessories. Your alternator is doing that. This is stabilizing everything, etc., etc. But we're talking about car audio, and this battery is not made for car audio. For one, it's lead acid, which means if I tip it over, it's going to leak out, which means it also can gas, which means that, kaboom, this is basically a bomb in your trunk. Now, I know some of you guys are saying, well, I see cars that have batteries in the rear. That's because they have the vents on the side and they vent the batteries off to the atmosphere. So, okay, if you guys are going to do this, make sure you put the vent tubes in there and run that stuff out the car, because those gases can build up and can possibly be explosive. So just, putting it out there. My personal experience, I watched the voltage go from normal to very quick. I mean, and not even getting, a strong draw off the battery before it just weakened out and needed to be charged. This isn't really what you want. So I hope this helps. What I have here is excess power. It is the XP2000. It's 2000 max amps. The reserve capacity is 150 minutes. The amp hours are 80. Now let me just break down. You've seen the reserve capacity was 65 on the other battery. The reserve capacity basically is it's rated at 25 amps, and it determines how long something can run at 25 amps. So you got 150 minutes that something can run at 25 amps continuous versus, your starting battery that you saw that can only run for 65 minutes. So at 65 minutes, it's going to be dead. You got 150 minutes on this. Also with the amp hours, it's a lot more amp hours in this battery than it is in the regular lead acid battery. And this is also considered a secondary battery. A lot of companies out here, they make batteries specifically for that application. And this application is, made for a secondary battery, whether you're running hydraulics or you're running some type of weed whacker. You can have an electric weed whacker on the back of your car and be cutting grass. This battery will work for it. It's a car audio battery, and it actually has more power than the excess power D3400. Now with the D3400, that is a starting battery as well as a secondary battery, so you can use excess power for both. It can be starting or a secondary. Same with North Star and a couple other brands out there. But with certain excess power batteries, like this particular one right here, is only made for secondary use. It wouldn't be ideal for a primary battery because the cranking amps isn't really there, but the amperage is there as well as the reserve capacity. Another thing that I wanted to point out to you, well, not you seasoned guys, please forgive me. This is for the up and coming bass heads. Whenever you're mounting the battery, make sure your hardware, whatever it is you get, make sure it's making full contact with your pad. Sky high custom terminals, or if it's ill custom, whatever it is you're putting on, copper, brass, plastic, whatever. You can use paper. I wouldn't suggest it, but just make sure it has full contact with your pads. And with that being said, I appreciate y'all watching. I hope this video was helpful. I want to send a shout out to Brandon, and I want to send a shout out to Mondo. Man, it was a pleasure rapping with you today, man. It is such a small world as we see. Brandon, I appreciate the battery, a great deal on it.
Hit the shit.
Oh yeah. Damn, I'm feeling so drip.